Hello, it's Margot. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of using Google Forms. Google Forms can be used to send surveys, to poll your students, to create entry or exit tickets, and they can be used as formative assessment tools since they allow you to create quizzes that can inform your instruction. There are ways to create Google Forms that would auto-grade quizzes for all of your students, but this would be the topic of a future more advanced tutorial. To create a Google form, you need to go into your Google account. Then you need to open your Google Drive. And you need to navigate to the folder where you want your form in. Okay, found my folder. Then you need to click on New and you will see Google Docs for creating a Google document, Sheets for creating a spreadsheet, Google Sites for creating a presentation, and then more. The first option is Google Forms. Google will create an untitled form. Just hover over the words untitled form and it will allow you to rename the form. I will name my form polygons. Once I click off of that, you can see that the form was renamed at the top as well. Using Google Forms has three parts: creating the quiz, assessment, or survey, getting it in the hands of the students or sharing it, and collecting the answers. How do you create a quiz? Now you are ready to enter your first question. You see the words question title. That's where you add your first question. Below you'll see help text. That's optional, but if you want to give your students specific directions regarding how they need to answer that question, that's where you add those comments. You can say things like answer in one short sentence if your question is an open-ended question, or you can say make sure you watch the video first in case you embedded a video. In the help text box you can include links and they will become live hyperlinks once you send the form out to your students. Question types. There are 9 question types you can choose from. Let's look at all these 9 question types so you can see what they look like. There are slight differences in terms of the features available when choosing different types of questions. We'll start off by creating a text type question. Here is where you type in your question and your students will be asked to provide an answer right here. Make sure it's a required question and you check the box. And then you hit the blue button when the question is ready to go. You can go back in and change any questions whenever you want. Just click anywhere on the question and it pops right open. Or click the pencil in the top right. For instance, I'm done with this question and I see the pencil over there. Okay, and then your question is ready. How can you add more questions? There are a couple of ways to do this. You can go to the Insert button and choose the type of questions you want to insert, or right below this question you can see Add Item. If you click on the triangle next to it, you can choose the question type right away. Okay, second question type, paragraph text. It is used for open-ended questions. So I'm going to add a question and it's going to be paragraph text. Okay, third question type is multiple choice. You can type your question in. I have a question here. How many sides does a pentagon have? I copy the question. Okay, go back in here, paste my question, or you can just type it in, and then you can add your answer choices. You can say 4 sides, 5 sides, 6 sides, 7 sides. Okay, or if you have your questions, your answer choices somewhere as well, you can do the same thing. Copy them, paste them in here, and you have all of your 4 answer choices. Okay. Trick about the multiple choice question type. You can shuffle the option order or the answer choices so that your students will have the answer choices listed randomly. And one more thing, next to this box it says go to page based on answer. You can use that feature if you want to create a branching form, quiz, or assessment. And we will talk about this feature in one of the advanced tutorials for using Google Forms. I'm going to say done. And then another question type is checkboxes. This allows students to select more than one answer choice. Okay, choose from a list. It is really a multiple choice type question. You just choose your answers from a drop down menu. Next question type is scale. Scale type lets you pick something along a numeric scale. Grid type, you use words such as strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. And then we have two more. Date type, you can include just the year, but it makes sense to also include the time. And the last one is just time. Okay, how can you change the order of the questions? If the questions are not in the right order, you can change their order at any time just by dragging them. So you just hover your mouse over the question, click and hold down, and while holding down, you drag the questions up or down. If I change my mind, I can put this one back there. Okay, let's look at the buttons across the top. Now we are in the edit mode. We're going to look at the last option first. It says View Live Form. If you click on that option, you can see what your form looks like on your students' screens. You can go back into the edit mode. The second tab says Change Theme. If you want to polish off your form, you can change its style. You can change any of these themes. Okay, and then you can go back into the edit mode, and if I go here to view live form, you can see that that particular theme was applied, and you can also choose your own headers if you want to. You can upload them. How do you send the quiz to your students? If you look in the top right hand corner, you will see a big blue button that says send form. If you click on it, it will pop a little dialog that allows you to send the form via email. If you have a Google group address, you can type it in here, or you can copy this link and share it with your students via Google Classroom, blog, sites, whatever platform you are using. So if I want to send this one to Cosmin, for instance, you can add a custom message if you want and just hit send. Okay, how can you view your students' responses? The third button across the top says View Responses. At the top, you can also see responses and the number of students who responded. This number will increase as they submit their answers and take the quiz. To view the responses, click on View Responses, and you'll see that all responses are collected in a spreadsheet. If you marked Automatically Collect Responders usernames, you will see their names in here. If not, it will be anonymous. Google Form creates a column for every one of your answers and includes the timestamp as well. Next, we're going to go into the settings, and you will see where you can find the box Automatically Collect Responders usernames. So you can check that and make sure you know who submitted what or who said what. Okay, back into the edit mode. There are two places where you can find the settings, at the top of the form and at the bottom of the form. For the purpose of these tutorials, we will look at the ones at the top, and I will point out the ones you should be aware of. First one, require Vision International School Qatar to log in to view this form. This option is checked by default and you should leave it like that if you want to send this Google form to teachers or students. However, if you want to send this to the parents, make sure this is not checked, because otherwise they will not be allowed to access it since they don't have a Viz Qatar email account. You want your form to automatically collect responders' usernames because you want to know who said what. If you want anonymous responses, leave this one blank. Allow only one response per person. This is important if you don't want your students to be allowed to take a quiz multiple times. Shuffle question order. Use this with caution, especially if you embedded videos and images, because shuffling the order of the questions will mess up your assessment or quiz. So this was an intro to Google Forms. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you want to learn how to add multimedia to your form, images and videos, how to create a branching form, or how to build a form that grades your students' quizzes automatically, be on the lookout for future just-in-time tutorials. Thanks for watching.